Hey everyone, welcome back to Fragrance Direct's YouTube channel. Today, if you couldn't already guess by my look, we are doing a festival makeup look. Bright-ish eye with glitter. It's perfect for this time of year. Coachella is just around the corner. All of the products I'm going to be using today are available on Fragrance Direct's website. So I hope you enjoy watching and following along, and we're just going to jump in and get started. Hey guys, so the first thing we're going to be doing today is our eyes, and we're going to be using the Kaylee Urban Bible palette, and this is by Sozu by Suzanne Jackson. So I've already primed my eyes. You can use any concealer for that. The first shade I'm going to be going in with is this one just here, which is called Freedom. And I'm just going to be packing that straight into my crease first of all. So the reason we're doing our eyes first is because we're using quite a lot of colourful shadows here. So you don't want to do your skin and then ruin all of that by shadow falling down if you get any fallout. I'm just lightly buffing out the edges of this just so it's not completely harsh. And we're just doing the same on the other side. And you don't have to worry about blending it just yet. You just want to stamp on your shape first of all. And if you can see, I actually take this slightly above my crease, because then when you cut the crease, you're still going to be able to see this colour. Whereas if you put it just right on your crease or underneath, when you cut your crease, it's going to almost disappear. So once you've got the correct shape and the pigment that you want with the purple, what we're going to do is pick up this red, which is called Sacred Fire, and we're going to go in with that on a slightly fluffier brush. So I'm using a MAC 217, and I'm just going to gently press this over the edge of the purple. So where you think you've got like a little bit of a harsh line, just press this over the top. And you'll see that line just start to become softer. And then just start doing very tiny motions side to side. Just to start blending those two colours together and start blending them out a little bit. And you can see now we're starting to look a little bit blended. You just have to have a really light hand when you're doing this, because you don't want to completely move all the purple shadow that you've just laid down. This is gonna look a mess. Right, at this point you're probably thinking, oh my god, this is awful, but trust me, it all comes together. Okay, then you're gonna pick up the same brush but a clean one, and we're gonna be going in with this yellow shade just here, which is called Faith. And we are just pretty much going to do the exact same thing, but this time obviously we're patting it over the edge of that red and starting to blend the very edge of all that out. And this is where you'll start to see the look come together a little bit. I would just always advise just pressing on the colour first and then going back in to blend it out. This palette is so good for if you want to get like loads of looks out of a palette, because it's got all the bright colours you would need and also like all your neutrals. It's got like all the neutral browns, everything like that. And honestly, these blend like butter. I think they're like the softest shadows I've ever felt. Okay, then once we're happy with the blend, we're going to cut the crease. And you can use any concealer to do this. Okay, once you've cut your crease, obviously I've only done it one side so far, but you need to put the shadow on top whilst it's still a little bit tacky. So I always like to cut one crease and then put the shadow on and then do the other. But I'm going to be going in with this blue shade here, which is called Aura. It's a beautiful shimmery aqua blue. And I'm going to take this on a really flat synthetic brush. This will just get the most colour payoff. And I'm just going to press it right on top of that concealer, what we've cut the crease with. This is one of the best shimmers I've ever used, and I'm not even having to build that up really at all. Okay, so again, the same with this step. Once I've done that, I like to work on this eye and blending that into the shadow before I move on to this eye. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to the original brush we used. I'm actually going to pick up the shade Unruly, which is this one just here. This was the first purple we went in with. Now we're going to go in with Unruly, which is just like more of a burgundy. And I'm just going to press that over the edge of this blue, just to blend it in to the rest of the shadow. And then we're just going to do the exact same on the other side. So now we're going to be applying some mascara in preparation for lashes. So I'm going to be using the Maybelline Falsies Push-Up Drama Mascara. This is one of my favourite mascaras ever. And it's so inexpensive, which is great. Now we're going to be applying some false lashes. These are the Lorac Luxury Silk Lashes in the style Baby Doll. These are super lightweight lashes, so they're going to be perfect for a festival because they're literally not going to irritate your eyes at all. You're probably not even going to feel them on your eyes, to be completely honest. So once the lash glue is dried enough, I'm just going to pop that on. So first I'm going to be priming my skin using the Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow Primer. For now, I'm just going to tuck some hair behind there. I'm just going to spread that all over my face. For foundation, we're going to be using the Galan Time Proof Foundation. And this is in the shade 12. This is super full coverage and really, really long wearing, which is exactly what we need. I'm just going to do one section of my face at a time. As you can see, it blends out super easy. Let's look at that coverage, and that was like 1.5 pumps. So like 1.5 pumps for each side of your face. To me, that's pretty good. Normally I would use a lot more than that. My chin and around my mouth always needs just that little bit more coverage, so I do tend to use like a pump just around my mouth, like mouth, nose, upper lip, chin, just because that's where I get most of my breakouts. So just add more coverage wherever you think that you need it. Moving on to concealer, I'm going to be using the Elizabeth Arden Stroke of Perfection Concealer in the shade Fair. This is a stick concealer, so it's super easy to use, and I'm just going to put that under the eyes. I'm going to put that on my forehead, down the centre of my nose, upper lip, and on my chin. And I'm just going to press that into my skin with the same brush that I used for foundation, because then it all blends really nicely. So then obviously we need to set everything, so I'm using the Antipodes Performance Plus Skin Brightening Mineral Finishing Powder in the shade Translucent. And I'm just going to apply the smallest amount just under my eyes, just to set that area, and then just around my mouth area and just the centre of my face really. Okay, so now we're going to bronze up the skin. I'm using the W7 Life's a Beach bronzer in the shade Beach Bum. This is super dark, so just be really careful when applying this, but if you apply the smallest amount, it does look really nice. So I'm just grabbing an angled brush and I'm just going to dip in literally once or twice, tap off the excess, and then I'm just going to place that just underneath my cheekbones and then starting to blend it out. So now we're moving on to highlight, and I'm using the Sunkissed Let It Glow Baked Highlighter Palette, and I'm just going to mix this lightest shade here with the pink one. I'm going to mix them both together. And I'm just using a highlighting brush. I'm just going to place that right on the tops of my cheekbones. I'm also putting that down my nose and on my Cupid's bow. So now we're going to go back into the eyeshadow palette and finish off our under eyes. So I'm picking up a little fluffy brush. This is clean, it's just stained from a previous look, but it's the perfect size to just get right underneath here. And I'm actually gonna pick up this purple again, which is the first one we used, and it's called Freedom. And this is just gonna go along the outer part of the lower lash line. Then I'm picking up the brush that we used, the yellow one, and I'm picking up the yellow, and I'm going to place that right underneath there to blend that out a little bit, just the teeniest bit. Then I'm going to go in with this shade just here, which is a super bright shimmery lilac, and it's called Myth. So with the shimmery purple, I'm placing that along the inner part of the lower lash line. Then I'm picking up this white shade from the palette. This is called Veil, and I'm using this to highlight my inner corner. Wow, that's a pigmented white. Okay, now for the fun part before we finish off and do our lips. So I'm going to be using the W7 Sparkle Stay. It's like a glitter primer, and I'm going to be using the Prima Makeup Glitter Stacker, but specifically I'm going to use the silver like chunky glitters that are in it, and they are a loose glitter. So I'm actually going to grab a fairly fluffy brush. I'm just going to grab some of the glitter primer, put it onto the back of my hand, and then I'm going to press this on just here to like the inner corner of our eye. That's where we're going to be adding some glitter. Then I'm going to literally go straight into the glitter with the same brush, tap any excess off, and just press that right on top of where we just put the glitter primer. So I'm just doing the same on the other side. Obviously, just be super careful with that near your eyes. Don't get like a little bit of it in your eyes, obviously. But yeah, so now it's just lips, and I'm using the Revlon Colour Stay Lip Liner in the shade Rose. Then I'm going to be using the Stila Stay All Day Liquid Lipstick in the shade Bellissima. And this is the finished look. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I feel like it's like one of a more wearable, obviously not wearable day to day, but wearable festival look, because the glitter is still around your eyes, which is fab. I absolutely loved creating this, so I hope you enjoy recreating it as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.